President Cyril Ramaphosa is once again at the center of political turbulence, this time over what critics are calling an ongoing failure to address South Africa's immigration challenges. As discontent brews among citizens, opposition parties, and even voices within the ANC, the question echoing across the country is this: has Ramaphosa lost control over immigration? South Africa's porous borders and inconsistent immigration enforcement have long been points of contention. But the current crisis appears to have reached a boiling point. With rising crime rates, xenophobic tensions in townships, and mounting pressure on public services such as healthcare and education, many South Africans are now demanding more decisive leadership from the president. And as the public outcry grows louder, Ramaphosa's handling, or lack thereof, of immigration policy is rapidly turning into a political liability. Over the past few months, the media has been flooded with viral videos and community reports of undocumented migrants being arrested, only to be released shortly afterward due to legal loopholes or overwhelmed detention facilities. The Department of Home Affairs has struggled to keep pace with asylum applications, while border control remains weak, especially in provinces like Limpopo and Mpumalanga. Civil society groups argue that the system is broken, and citizens feel abandoned. "We are not saying all foreigners are criminals," one community leader in Gauteng stated during a public forum. "But when our clinics are full, when crime increases, and when our people can't find jobs, the government must take responsibility." Where is Ramaphosa? Ramaphosa has remained largely diplomatic in his public responses, urging South Africans to avoid stoking division and emphasizing Pan-African unity. But critics say this rhetoric falls flat in the face of widespread frustration. In Parliament, opposition leaders have pounced on the issue, painting Ramaphosa as detached and out of touch. The Democratic Alliance has called for an independent commission to investigate the failures of immigration enforcement, while the economic freedom fighters have taken a more radical stance, blaming the state for allowing the exploitation of African migrants by white capital and demanding border reform. In a recent media briefing, Ramaphosa acknowledged the complexity of the issue. "We must strike a balance between humanitarian values and national interest," he said. "We are committed to strengthening our immigration system, but we must do so in a way that respects human dignity and complies with our constitutional obligations." However, those words have done little to reassure the public. On social media, hashtags like #BorderControlNow and #RamaphosaMustAct have begun trending, as users vent their anger. The president's approval ratings have dipped in recent polls, with a significant number of respondents citing immigration as a major concern. Even within the ANC, murmurs of discontent are beginning to surface. Insiders report that some members of Ramaphosa's own party are frustrated by the lack of a coherent immigration policy and fear that the issue could cost them heavily in the upcoming elections. Some have privately admitted that the leadership is fumbling and reactive instead of proactive. Meanwhile, communities near border regions have taken matters into their own hands. Reports have emerged of local patrols and citizen-led roadblocks targeting undocumented migrants, raising concerns of vigilantism and potential human rights abuses. Humanitarian organizations have condemned these actions but say they are a predictable result of a government that has failed to lead. As the pressure mounts, many are now asking, will Ramaphosa finally act decisively, or will immigration become the issue that unravels his presidency? In the end, the stakes are far greater than party politics. At the heart of the crisis lies a nation grappling with identity, sovereignty, and the meaning of unity in a globalized world. If Ramaphosa hopes to restore confidence, he must offer more than carefully crafted speeches. The country is waiting, not just for answers, but for action.